Good day, everyone. It's Dareon here, making another update video for you all. This time for the month of November. Took me long enough, huh? But here it is. So, how have you all been? I'm very happy to have you all here. There's so many things that I want to share in this video that I think this video is going to be quite long. But hopefully I will be able to make it entertaining, so I will do my best to achieve that. Anyway, I have some news related to this channel and the project, so let's just jump into it. First of all, let's talk about YouTube and the series here. As you must have seen already, I started some stories not so long ago, but I am already close to finishing a couple of the older ones. The Reluctant Guardian and The Kingdom Needs a Queen, those two are almost done, so that means that there will be space for other roleplays, other series. And I have quite a lot of ideas and concepts in my mind, so it will definitely be very interesting. Now, there is a huge change coming to this project related to Patreon. As you all know, I have a Patreon page where I upload all my not safe for work content and share more things with the Patreons. They can vote in the polls, they can decide what kind of content they want to see more often, and some other things while they support this project. But after giving it some thought and asking my Patreons about their opinions, I decided that I wanted to add more rewards for the people supporting this project. So yeah, I want you all to be as happy as possible when supporting me and helping me continue doing this work. And the best way that I think to give you all more for your generosity is to, well, add more rewards. So I planned a list of new rewards to add to the existing tiers of the Patreon page, and I will be adding them in January. And I think it's going to make things a lot better for everyone. So, since I am talking about this, let's just get into details, shall we? These are the upcoming changes to the tiers of my Patreon page. First tier, Supporter. This is the first tier, so it's just $1, and it was basically thought for people who wanted to contribute, to support me in the project with a little tip. That, of course, it's greatly appreciated, because even if it's just $1 for me, that means the world. What I did in this tier was to offer, well, apart from my gratitude, of course, follow you on Twitter too, so we could talk there. You can send me any messages, we can, be friends. So yeah, that was basically it, you support me, well, I appreciate it and I thank you, and if you need to talk to me, we can talk, and I want to keep that kind of relationship with my patrons. That's the idea, that's the whole point. So, starting January 2019, this tier will be upgraded, still with the same value, of course, it's just $1. That won't change. But I will be adding a new reward to this tier. Just by pledging $1 a month, all the patrons will get access to my content a bit earlier than YouTube. So if you really like my content and you don't want to have to wait, then just by pledging $1 you can watch it sooner. I think it adds a bit more of value to the whole being a Patreon thing, so why not, right? Let's jump into the second tier. Participants. This tier basically gives the Patreons a chance to vote on different polls. That's the main concept. If you really like what I do, if you really like my work, then by pledging $3 you have access to this too. Not only the previous rewards from the supporter tier, But also this one, you can vote on all the polls that I make. But, starting on January, this tier will also include the following reward. A happy birthday audio on your day of birth. Because as a participant, you are a part of this project too, and you deserve to be properly celebrated on your day. So, to all my participants, I will send you a personalized thank you audio of about 2 minutes or so, and wish you a happy birthday. And I think this one is probably the most, how can I say it, the most original reward that I'm going to be adding on Patreon, also to the participant tier. A monthly round of Q&As, but not for me, for my characters. What this means is that, for example, next month I will tell all my Patreons that the Q&A is open for the demon of the reluctant guardian. So you can all just ask any questions to that character. And of course, in the next month, that character is going to be making the video and answering all your questions. It's going to be a whole new section on my Patreon page, with one audio each month. I think it's going to be really fun, and if you want to participate or listen to those Q&A, which by the way are going to be called Character Spotlight, you can join the $3 Patreon tier and you're in. Okay, next tier, the most popular one. My confidence. Well, this tier basically grants Patreon access to the erotic content of my project. These Patreon exclusive works are uploaded every 2 weeks on Wednesdays. So I put the Patreon previews here on YouTube, but the whole content is only for Patreon. So yeah, if you want to listen to the full version, you have to do it on Patreon. This tier is $5, and of course it grants not only access to erotic content, but also all the rewards for the previous Patreon tiers. So that was pretty much what it gave, until now of course. What I'm planning on adding to this tier is 2 more rewards. First one will be access to occasional behind-the-scenes videos that I will upload on Patreon only. I will talk about my schedule, my work, my plans, and also some personal things, so, you know, sharing with you, the people that make this possible, what's going on and what will be going on. And the second reward added to this tier will be a monthly Patreon-only audio for new Patreon-only series. I plan on giving my patrons more content and more things to enjoy, so I figured that making more roleplays for them will be fair. So basically what this means is that I will be making new stories that will be on Patreon and not on YouTube. Now this doesn't mean that I will stop making series on YouTube or something like that. What I have in mind right now is to make 1 audio per month on Patreon. Now, if those series are about 4 chapters each, then in 1 year we could have 3 complete series in Patreon. This series I will not put them here on YouTube. I will not put a preview like I do with the erotic content. This will only appear on Patreon and it will be for the Patreons. But yeah, it will not affect the content that goes on YouTube. I will still make new stories on YouTube, continue the old ones, make casual role plays, add previews for the erotic content. Everything will be the same on YouTube. Nothing will change. But once each month I will be making some things for Patreons, some extra stories, if you will. And finally, the 4th tier that gets additional rewards is the $20 Muse tier. Now, this tier basically gives Patreons the chance to submit a specific concept or idea for a roleplay. The reward is kind of similar to the one of the participants, where you can send me your ideas. But in this case, you are able to provide me a full concept, and I will guarantee you that it will come out as an audio. Of course, if you make something that goes along the lines of my channel. But yeah, this will give you the chance to be the mind or the inspiration behind my audios. And of course you get the gratitude and the recognition that you deserve. Now for this tier I am also adding another reward, and that is the chance to work with me in creating stories and characters. We will get in contact directly over emails or instant messages and make something together. So if you want to be a part of the creative process, help me shape characters, choose the different outfits or looks that it could have, before I talk to the artist Rafael to draw them, well, you can also be a part of that. So if you really like what I do, if you want to help me shape the next content that I will be making, then by all means, this is your chance. Phew. Now that's a big update, huh? Alright. Now on to the next part of this video. The Q&A. This one was supposed to be for last month, but October was... that month really had me working. So I didn't have the time to actually sit and answer your questions. But this month I can. So why not, right? Let's begin reading your questions. See if I can give you an interesting answer. First of all, Daddy's Girl asks, can you please make more Daddy Dumb Little Girl? You're so good at that. Well, thank you, dear. I actually only did one of those audios, and it was basically an experiment, because I was trying something new, but I've seen some people that actually commented like you that they wanted to hear more. So yeah, if you want it, I can definitely give it another try, yes. Next question. The Aisha Binham. Did I say your name correctly, dear? I think I did. Any tips for learning a second language? Well, in my personal experience, I learned a lot of English on my own. Basically by playing video games or watching movies or listening to music. Of course, I had a good base at school, but the more you listen to people speaking the language you want to learn, the more you read or the more content you consume in that language, well, it helps you understand a bit more. Sometimes you're even learning things without even knowing that you are learning. So my advice would be that. And I think it's a good advice, I don't know. It worked for me. And if it worked for me, I'm sure it will work for anyone. Okay, let's continue. Hyunjin asks, did you know that the name Dareon is from Sailor Moon? Well, I don't want to be that guy, but I think that the character you're talking about is called Dareon instead of Dareon. Something like that. Sounding similar, but not really the same name. I promise I am not that guy. Favorite drink? Well, I love drinking juice. Especially the multi-fruit ones. The ones that they sell on the supermarkets. I don't know in your country if they are popular or not, but The one that I like the most has pineapple, banana, orange, and I think that peach is the fourth fruit. That's like the elixir of life or something. Next question. If you drink alcohol, do you get drunk easily? Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you and everyone else. I don't drink alcohol. I know, I'm the fun guy at parties, yeah. But about getting drunk easily, well, I actually never got completely wasted to find out. I have drank alcohol in the past, and it never really affected me too much. I never got to the point of feeling funny or dizzy or passing out, no, never. Favorite scent? Well, I mean, I have to be honest, Oh, this is going to sound like I'm a complete freak, but the scent that I like the most is the one of gasoline. I'm sure that it isn't healthy, but it's intoxicating. Oh, and one of my weaknesses, just to sound a little bit more normal, I guess, is apple shampoo. That thing is irresistible to me. That thing really gets my attention. So yeah, I swear I'm normal. Question number 5. Guilty pleasures. Well, making bad jokes and puns anytime I can. I swear I always have one joke ready at any moment and any time. And also, well, I have this addiction to ketchup. I have eaten almost anything with ketchup. I know I shouldn't do that, but well, I'm happy. I don't care. Are you a leader or a follower? I would say I am more a leader than a follower. Basically because I have never been good at following other people's plans or doing things I don't like. I'd rather make my own choices and do the things my way, yes. If you were to write a book about your life, what would the title be? To be honest, I have no clue. I never even thought about this. But I would try to make the book inspirational. Maybe to somehow help anyone that reads it. Number 8. Are you secretly a guardian angel in human form for us? Of course not. That would be silly. Another human needs saving? Okay, I'll be right there. Moving on. Laura Lanford, which phrase would you like to have written in your tombstone? I'm not sure. Maybe something like, where was the healer? Or, Phoenix down, please. I am such a nerd, I'm sorry. Next one. Margaret Nighthall Reeves. Where do you get your inspiration to make your videos? I basically get inspired by anything, be it movies, video games, or anything related to it. I was also very much into D&D and role-playing before this, so I guess creating characters and stories became a part of me. I've been doing that for, I don't know, more than 10 years. It's in my blood now, I suppose. Millie Emu. Hey Millie, let's see your questions. How I schedule my time doing audios. Ooh, if I were to tell you all the little details, you would think I'm crazy. I'm a mess with that kind of stuff. from Monday to Friday, I work on a regular job from 9 to 6. That means I only have time to do this at night. After I get back home, I eat, and then I can spend time writing scripts or recording the voices or editing the audios, and it takes me a lot of time. Some days I barely even sleep, but I don't complain. I love doing this, and it's a dream that I'm following, so I don't care if I have to work at the next day and I am almost falling asleep on the office, or I don't care about any of that. Of course, I am a responsible adult. I know when I have to take a break, and I can take care of myself, don't worry, but it's hard to have a schedule or planning really the release of the content, because I don't really know if one day I will be able to stay up until 4 a.m. editing, or if I come back from work and I'm exhausted and I have to leave it for the next day. It's kind of hard, because right now I'm basically having 2 jobs. But I don't mind, really. I don't complain. I don't want you to feel sorry. I love doing this. So it's my passion and I really enjoy it. So, yeah. Oh my god, I rambled too much on that answer. But, well, you asked, I answered. And 2, also for fancies. Do you have any funny stories since you started creating ASMR roleplays? This one is tricky because I don't remember and I don't have a good memory. Let's see any funny stories or anecdotes I can share. I have one. It's silly, but it's the first thing that came to mind. Do you know Pandastic ASMR? He's a great guy. He makes vampire roleplays. And, well, the thing is that he invited me to do some collabs on his channel to participate on his audios. And, well, the first time that that I had to voice one of the characters of his stories, a vampire named Nikolai. And, well, one part of the script was actually biting the neck of the listener, so I had to move to a side of the microphone and, well, make a realistic sound of feasting on the listener, of biting the neck and drinking the blood. But it had to last at least 20 seconds or so. So I have no idea how to do that. And the best idea that came to mind was to bite my own hand. So I actually moved to a side of the microphone and, like, took a real nice bite of my hand. And there I was. Imagine this. Imagine this guy sitting in front of the microphone, biting his own hand strong, because I really wanted to make a good sound, so I sunk my teeth on my hand and I started slurping, and it was a mess. And by the time I was finished, I had the marks of all my teeth on my hand. It was bizarre, but it was a fun memory. I mean, I really don't know how these guys that play the part of a vampire do that, but that was the way I solved that situation. So yeah, okay, let's move on. Next question is from Winged Wolf. What got you into ASMRing? Well, to be honest, before I started my project, I used to listen to ASMR videos. I was, let's say, part of the audience. And out of all of them, the ones that I liked the most were the kind that were role-played audios. Not just sounds or triggers, but, stories, characters, things like that. I started to watch other people's work, and I found so many talented voices doing ASMR roleplays. I mean, really good voice actors, and their amazing creativity, their captivating stories, those complex settings and marvelous created worlds. I mean, the level of these guys. When I realized all of this, I sat there and I said to myself, I can do that. No, I'm joking. I don't really mean that, but I mean that last part, right? But I actually, when I realized that this was something that people were creating and that it was a thing, I knew that I had the potential to actually do something of my own, and well, I gave it a try, you know. I started the channel, and well, things worked out pretty well. I am extremely happy and grateful to be where I am right now, and I hope to continue growing. And well, I think that would be the answer to your question. And last but not least, Sanel, do you believe that there will be a time where the world comes to a complete standstill and we are forced to fend for ourselves and survive without technology? Also, what's the first thing that you would do or grab, or a place you would go in order to survive? Fun question. I don't really think that something like that will happen, but there is always a possibility for anything, right? Especially if us humans keep on contaminating this world and making it unstable. I think that if anything like that happens, like a post-apocalyptic setting on the real world, well, I watch a lot of movies and I know what to expect. First thing is get out of the cities, don't stay in a crowded place because the looting will start, the killings will start, the crime is going to be unstoppable, and you don't want to be in the middle of that. So yeah, I would get the hell out of there, travel someplace far. If it has water nearby, that would be the best case scenarios, because if you don't have anything to drink, you are screwed. So yeah, I would get the hell out of there and try to find a safe place, and if I have to bring something with me, it would be a weapon. The first thing I would grab is a weapon. I am all for peace and love, but if we are in the middle of an apocalypse and someone is going to try to steal or hurt me or the people that I care about, I'm going to start swinging, you know? That's just how I am. I don't know. Well, that was it for the Q&A. What a way to end it, eh? So, this is going to be a long video. Are you still awake over there? You are? Come on, don't sleep on me. Okay, if you are still over here, then I appreciate it, and I thank you, because that means that all of this time that I was speaking to this microphone was not in vain, and that you over there, on the other side of the world, listening to me, you are making this worth it. So thank you. And now, before finishing this video, a very well-deserved shout-out for the Patreons. This time I will be thanking all the patrons that joined in October, and of course let you know that you are the best and that really your help is what keeps me going. I can't really put into words how much value that has for me. It's beyond that, so I really appreciate it. All of you that joined, thank you so much for being there. I cannot thank you enough, really. I will repeat myself over and over again, because the feeling that I have right now for that it's amazing. I love you. I really love you for that. You have no idea how much. So, I will start naming you and thanking you properly, because you guys are fantastic. My complete gratitude goes to Adrian Fabila, Alexis, Alisa Conte, Ashley Snedden, Ava, Cheyenne, Colleen McMonagle, Daniel Drever, Ginger Ninja, Heather Hall, Easy, JC Barbano, Jantine, Jabana, Katie, Casey Baker, Kikai Mato, Cole Lee, Kyra Brown, Mia Lumber, Natalie, Noel, Noemi Caballero, Kwana, Rachel, Rebecca Allen, Rebecca Monteith, Retsuko, Rouge Artist JPEG, Sahuri, Shadow of the Night Sky, Shamika Lyles, Shires, Silver Aris Nightmare, Tatiana, and Why So Serial. Thank you all for joining my Patreon page, for supporting this project and for enjoying the content that I make. Having you here means everything to me. And of course, I want to also thank all the other Patreons that are still around, that have joined in the previous months and that are still being a part of this project. That means so much to me, to see that you believe in what I do, that you want to stay, want to support me, want to help me grow. I know that I am repeating myself over and over again, but this is honest. I wish I could go over there, wherever you are, and surprise hug you. You deserve to know that you are very special and that you are helping me not only put food on the table for my family, but also help me wake up in the morning believing that it is possible to follow a dream, that you can actually do something that you enjoy each day. That is something I never felt before. Last year it was a complete different life for me, but thanks to you that has changed, and for the better. So yeah, if you are one of my Patreons, please know that you are being a part of all of that. So thank you very much. I mean it. Well, that's it for this update video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun, that I made you laugh sometime during the Q&A or whatever. And I hope you like the news, the updates. I think it's going to be great. And well, I will see you in the next update then. Please leave a comment if you want to make any questions or if you want to say anything. I swear I read every single comment that you guys leave on all the videos that I upload. I love you all. Well, I'm gonna let you go now. Thank you for listening, thank you for being here, for being awesome, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon enough in the next month. I hope you have a wonderful day. Much love.